I have a perspective for you today, which I imagine will help you effectively find opportunities, solutions, and answers to any challenge you might have in your life. Now, this is a tool or an approach that you can use no matter the situation going on in your experience. And I'll explain it like so. A way that you can look at reality is there is simply what is happening. I am sitting here. I am talking at the camera's recording, it's going up on YouTube. Then there is the story of what is happening. Now, that story contains the perspective, emotions, feeling, and the meaning that that you assign to the experience. So, whatever meaning I assign to this interaction is from my perspective, that's the story. You receiving this video, whatever meaning that you assign to this experience, whatever interaction you are having, this is your story of the experience that is happening. Now, many of us, we're living really deeply in our stories. And I imagine that's very fun. I have a lot of fun living deeply in my story. The challenge usually comes when we're living so deeply in our story, we arrive at a juncture where we are scratching our heads and we're like, I've written myself in this story into a seeming corner and I really don't know what to do from here. Sometimes it can feel painful, it can feel stuck, it can feel challenging. So one of the things that I do with those that work with me is I play this game of toggling with them that we're about to explore right here, right now. By the way, I'm Danielle Lynn, and I have conversations like this with super cool, super intentional reality creators, magicians at play, such as yourself. And we have these conversations so that you can remember how to live your most resonant, intentional life. Now, in this simple explanation that I'll share, once again, we have the story and then we have simply what is. I'm going to first invite you, if you want to go on this journey, to play along if you like. And the invitation is we're just going to acknowledge that there's nothing wrong or right about seeing it as a story or seeing it as just what is. These are just two possible perspectives with which we can approach life. They each have their pros and cons. When we're in story mode, we're feeling it very visceral. You're the character in the story. I'm having this experience. I feel this way. It's part of the reason I imagine we chose to be embodied as humans. So once again, no shame or blame. In the perspective of, let's say, just what is without the story, now we just have the objective mechanics of reality as it's flowing. Without any interpretation, it's simply what is happening at any given moment. Both of these things could be layered simultaneously. Many of us as humans, we get very sucked into our unique story. We get sucked into our unique perspective of what's going on. Now, remember, there's everyone else creating and having their story as well. So we could all be meeting at an objective level of reality as it is, and each have our own perspectives of the story of what is going on with reality as it is, even if we are seeming to have the same interaction at once. Even if we're all, as an example, if we're all watching the same movie, we're all watching the same movie play, but each of us may have a very different response to the movie because then we're receiving it through our unique filter, perspectives, beliefs, ideas, and we're deciding, okay, this connects with me this way. I like it because of this. It touches my heart. Oh, it relates to an experience I had. Or, man, that was boring. I don't know what this was about. I don't care, et cetera, et cetera. So now that you understand the story layer, the reality layer, let's go a step deeper. So if you like, imagine anything that's going on in your life that has deep significance to you, right? Something going on in your story. This could be something that has deep meaning and something that you have emotional charge around. So what I'm going to invite you to do, if it feels good, is we're going to enter observer mode together. Now, observer mode is something I walk people through in the process that I call PSI, self-alchemy integration. I do this in my private work, things like this. And it's very simple. what you do, if you like, and I usually like to do it by taking some breaths in, is you take some breaths in. You're allowing yourself to be in the present moment. In this moment, you're giving yourself permission to simply be as you are. So we're coming out of the head, the thoughts, the story. We don't have to ignore thoughts. We don't have to stop thoughts. The thoughts can be there, but our attention with the breath is coming here, is coming here, is coming here, until you're simply observing, until you're at the place where you have the story, you have the thoughts, but instead of feeling like, oh, I am this, I have to figure it out, now you're just looking at it. It would be like going from being in an argument or a discussion on something to being the person that's standing over here witnessing the argument or discussion. Okay. And so this is observer mode. Now, in observer mode, you're invited to simply be without shame, blame, guilt. It's not about judging or fixing. You're simply observing, as the name would contain. So now in observer mode, this is one of the ways that we can enter objective reality mode, where we're simply looking at things the way they are. The story can continue to play out, but for a moment, we've stepped out of being the character of the story. And now we're kind of in the script writer, we're the director mode, we're in the editor, we're in the cut room. And we're sort of going, this is interesting. I wonder what's playing out right now. I'm curious about how this is going. And so in this state, what happens is, since you're no longer entangled in the middle of the problem, you have a lot more energy to look at all the elements of what's going on. It's almost like going from being this close to a puzzle to being like this, and not only looking at the puzzle, you're looking at all the tools and the things around you. It's like coming up for a breath of emotional and energetic air in your life and in your space. And the thing is, you can do this at any time. If you want to develop emotional intelligence, being able to go into the observer mode will help you in situations where you otherwise feel a lot of intensity and you're not sure what to do. That's okay. Enter observer mode. You're not suppressing parts of self. You're not denying what's going on. You're just giving yourself a moment of clarity and awareness to go, now what? This is also synonymous with entering present moment awareness, right here, right now. So, with this state, I invite you, if it's good, to apply the observer mode to whatever it is that you are dealing with right now in your life. Now, remember, you're not trying to fix it or find solutions, which might sound funny. You might be like, all right, what's the point of this? The point is that, in a sense, you're generating deliberate space around what's going on. You're remembering that you are not the problem. You're not entrapped in the problem. You still exist. The problem or the challenge or whatever it is can still exist, but then you also get to exist over here. You and the challenge are not one. You might be experiencing challenge, but there is also the conscious you that is present. And what this does is it keys in your present moment empowerment. And without needing to figure anything out at all, now you are remembering how to reconnect to your power, your ability to be curious, and interestingly enough, your ability to consider lateral potential moves in the situation you're in, because you're no longer entangled in that moment. And so, my friend, for today, I'm going to leave this here for us as a playful thing to consider. I felt inspired just to share this window with you, because again, whatever you have going on right now, this is something you can access right here, right now. And if you would like to go deeper with it, I invite you to explore the Self Alchemy Lab. I have a specific meditation for the observer mode that people have found very helpful, very empowering, as well as some other trainings and tools that can help you go deeper with this kind of exploration. And if this has been of assistance, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I always enjoy our interactions together. And in all cases, may you have a continued enjoyable now.